Namaste and welcome. Deanna here with our energy update for May 18th through the 24th. Again, these are always timeless messages because we cannot put energy in a box. Just as I encourage you not to put yourself in a box, we have a lot of mutable energy going on right now. Mutable energy is able to after the cardinal initiation energy, mutable energy is able to transform and use that energy to have a change in perspective. I want to highlight happy solar return to Gemini. The sun enters your sign of Gemini on Wednesday the 20th at 9:49 Eastern Standard Time. And then we have a new moon on the 22nd, which is Friday, also in the sign of Gemini. So it's really interesting. I came to this huge realization this morning, and it was such a random download. I checked the Schumann resonance today before I came on. There's a lot of energy, a lot of light integration, and we have to just keep leveling up with this energy, because if we were to integrate all of the transformation that is happening right now all at once, it would be too much. So check out the Schumann resonance if you're not familiar with it. It is Gaia's heartbeat, directly linked to the energy field. It affects us. We affect it, rather, I would say, in my perspective. So again, these things may resonate with you just this week, but they also can expand outward, right? Because we are taking this energy field and removing ourselves, gaining our power by taking the boxes apart and expansive. So Atlantis fear came up to me this morning. It's been raining here in my state since yesterday, and it's funny, I woke up this morning feeling just this crazy different energy within me, and I thought, whoa, it's a collective fear that many of us are purging right now. And in order for us to all get on board, because we're all connected, we have to keep releasing these fears, and whether it be Black Moon Lilith and then Chiron also, that wounded healer. I drew a couple of cards prior during meditation that I'm going to share. I'll go into some other cards afterwards to wrap this message up. But I was having a hard time this morning grounding and feeling grounded and feeling very lofty. And I got looking in the astrology, and the energy being so mutable and changeable, but yet we're kind of in this constricted energy of Saturn now retrograde, Venus retrograde, right? And is Pluto retrograde yet? Don't quote me on that. Anyway, so I printed the chart off today, and Mercury is in a square to Neptune. So many of us could be feeling really lofty in our thoughts. And this goes hand in hand with Gemini season. We have Venus retrograde in Gemini. Mercury is in Gemini, so that's our thinking, right? And Mercury is at its home sign there in Gemini. But it's in the square to Neptune, which is also mutable energy. So I would highly suggest getting yourself grounded. I actually wanted to do my video today outside versus inside because I am so feeling so ungrounded. I might have to pull out some root vegetables to get myself grounded. Can't take my technology out there with it being so rainy. But I'm also feeling a huge energy this week of cleansing. Gemini is being known as the twins, and it's also ruled by Mercury. So a lot of us could be torn with information overload, whether it be through communication, because today's energy of Mercury is also extended out there to the internet, right? Use your discernment within yourself on what you're taking in information-wise. I know, me being a truther myself and always wanting to get to the truth, that I do find myself sometimes have to pull back and disconnect from all of the information. Highly encourage you to do the same as well. And let's see. So a lot of the mutable energy, Venus is in Gemini, which is retrograde right now. So this is our time to inner. I symbolically resonate huge with the retrograde planets going in this inner. So a change in perspective on how you love yourself. Gemini can be self-critical and too much mind chatter. So it's a huge time to trust yourself, whether you're a Gemini or not. It's irrelevant. It's somewhere in your chart. Mars is in Pisces, so that's that Neptunian. Watch for yourself not to choose escapism. I would highly encourage not consuming alcohol here over the next period of time. Frankly, I gave that up a long time ago. It was the best decision ever. I have Neptune in my first house. So what else here? Mars in Pisces to me came through. I jotted a little note down to myself after I seen the chart, and it is this huge courage with your vulnerability being in Pisces, right? And tapping into your spiritual aspect, your higher self, and really allowing that to have discernment within yourself so that you're not acting too feisty or too action-oriented, being Mars, okay? Venus square Neptune. Again, that's another square in the chart today. Again, always timeless messages. You know, trying to reevaluate with our thoughts, Gemini, what our new thought processes are, this merging that keeps coming up within me of many of us, not enough on board if you ask me as well, to have a different mindset on what we value and what self-care is and what we truly want going forward for the collective. It's a huge time to get in tune with that. Whether we've been down the rabbit hole of thinking things outside of us were going to bring us satisfaction and true comfort, I think that we're seeing with all of this mutable energy that there's huge change, and it's ever changing right now, and it's a huge thing to keep using discernment on what we give our energy to. Mars is in a trine with the North Node. The North Node is also in Gemini, and that's kind of the direction we all want to head as a collective. That's a collective point in the astrological, as above so below, that we want to get the collective energy moving towards. So right now, with it being in Gemini with Venus retrograde, and as well, let me see here, I'm drawing a blank, Mercury, a lot of mind chatter, but I think it's gonna ultimately be with the North Node in Gemini right now, a lot of us having a new perspective, a change in thoughts going forward. I hope everybody's utilizing this energy to do their work and face their things. I personally had come through to me again and during meditation, and pulled a couple of cards prior, this energy of really getting in tune with yourself and not putting yourself in a box because of so much changing energy. You know, again, another lightning fast change symbolically of Uranus being in Taurus, fixed earth. I find that very metaphoric of our bodies changing, our mindset on things, breaking free of the shackles and the oppression. And that's another thing coming up huge with that Atlantean collective fear that had come through to me. Channeled message this morning was a lot of people being triggered by the use of technology for a control factor. And so I find it so significant to understand that in order for us to heal and rise above that very Neptunian energy, right, and Pisces, of grabbing onto our spiritualness, but not allowing it to escape, not being distracted by all the distractions. I find it just huge that that Atlantean message came through to me this morning, because other than having a fear of sharks all my life, which was really weird because I've never in this lifetime lived by an ocean, I'm like, bingo, I'm having so many synchronistic messages and metaphorically seeing things over the last few days. So again, your dream state may be showing you symbolism as well. Keep that in mind. It is Mars trining the North Node. To me, it came through as a strength and a courage within you, moving ourselves forward as we keep shifting collectively. And that restrictive energy of Saturn, you know, kind of in conflict with the mutable energy that we have going on and our thoughts. It's a beautiful time, I say this probably every time I come on, of mindfulness, listening to your body and making sure that you face everything and not choose that Neptunian energy, that Pisces energy of I feel so deeply, water sign, I feel so deeply that I can't feel that, or you tell yourself, that's your mind telling you that. It's too painful, it's too much. That creates escapism, and that comes through whether it be in alcohol, whether it be in cognitive dissonance, whether it be binge, using food as your emotional comfort. It's a huge time not to do that, to face those things so that we can all rise as a collective. And that technology control factor and the water energy and the element of that came up to me with Atlantis as well, is that on a soul level, whether we're aware of it or not, there is a lot of these past fears with Black Moon Lilith, the wounds that you feel like you have put yourself in a box with, releasing them, changing your mindset with the Gemini energy, and transforming that more into a unified consciousness. The polarization cannot be healed until it festers, just like an infection does not go away until you face it and take care of it. And it is not about band-aiding our emotions and our feelings right now. It is about facing them, turning towards them, feeling all the emotions that come through, release them from your energy field, call upon the divine, do 3 centering breaths to reset your energy field and release those things. It is a crazy weird time, as we all know. I don't think there's a person on the planet that this is not being felt by. And with the Gemini new moon on Friday, we really want to plant those seeds. And metaphorically, I was listening to one of my homesteaders yesterday, and I'm like, boom, another aha moment. The dark moon in Gemini is a planting of a seed and a new mindset. It is also about smaller community and communication, whether it be verbal, through the internet, So planting that new seed going forward and not putting your thoughts in a mindset of I'm so clung to, right, because the South Node is in Sag, I'm so clung to these beliefs that I put myself in a box and I won't change my thinking. A lot of people in that Mercury energy, right, of getting into battles with other people. We're never going to all agree on things. We do have to find the common thread of what we want going forward into the age of Aquarius. Do we want unity consciousness, or do we all want to crumble by the fear of being taken out by control of technology, right? I say that in reference to Atlantis because I'm pretty sure that many of us have already lived that. And like I said, it isn't something that in your conscious mind you're aware of. It's the subconscious, it's the DNA, it's the releasing of all of those things. Hope this is making good sense to you. I am a little bit chatty today because I do have Neptune in my first house, which is in square with a Mercury today, and that's okay. I'm like, you know what? Real and raw is what I appreciate. And so not being distracted by all of the things of the world, because it's so very clear to me. And this was another thing. Thank you for bringing that to my attention again. Third eye and heart chakra are coming up to me, and also the root chakra. So we got 3 this week, and I feel like this integration of light, like I said, it's a scientific fact. Check the Schumann resonance. Feeling that clearing and that download of new light frequencies can cause people to feel vertigo. I know my vision's, like, I've struggled with my glasses off and on for the past few years of my awakening, and I just have to breathe into it, accept it, remove my glasses, and keep moving forward. So I really want to encourage everybody this week to face everything and do not be so clung to your beliefs in the past, whether it be yesterday or last lifetime, that we cannot change our mindset. And really with that Gemini energy as well, you know, being the twins, merging the left brain, right brain together in that unity, which could be exactly why the third eye chakra was coming up to me, being all seeing of the things and the transformation. And then the heart chakra, that feeling of vulnerability is a beautiful thing. It's when you do your work and face your fears and do your healthy boundaries, not only with others, but with yourself on how much you can take, right? Like I stated prior, pay attention to how much energy. Don't put yourself in information overload, and really find those roots within you. That would be the root chakra. I'm present. That Neptunian spiritual energy is in me. I'm being all seeing through the illusions of this world, because it's so obvious to me. There's a control grab for fear, and it's putting people, when we're in fear, that blocks our God connection, our oneness connection. It's so obvious. I'm not telling you to ignore fear if it rises, but don't claim it. Release it. And don't be distracted by all the little bullshit avatars that they're now putting out there, because it's like they're grooming people to disconnect. And we're tribal, and our tribal might just have to go back to small community, but that's okay. You know, we're really wanting to redo our values too, and the growing of food keeps coming up to me as well. I've taken the initiative to find people locally so we can do bartering. Whether I can find goods here personally, I recommend you do that as well. So the first card, which I'm feeling like we really needed this divine feminine energy again, this is that, like I say often, the Venus energy to me is self-love first, because when we get in that universal alignment and love ourselves first, everything falls into that order, and we call in that frequency of love and true value and integrity and authenticity into our energy field, and we see that play out with who is in our life. So we got the goddess of never not broken. Everything happens for my liberation. I choose to become only more love. This is huge. This is being present. This is knowing that we all have stories. We all have these, well, illusionary wounds, because we're never separate from Creator. In my mindset, we can't separate. So we're in a human experience right now. And although things of our past that may have made us feel hurt or wounded, this is, you are whole. You are whole regardless of the wounds. This is also very beautiful with the message to me that came through with vulnerability and Mars. Let me see here. That Mars energy with Neptune. Okay, it's in a... Where did I read it? Okay. Let me back up. This energy of vulnerability. But Mars to me is always the color of red, because that's not always just anger, whatever. It's also passion. So use your vulnerability to drive your passion, because we all need to find our soul's purpose right now. That is what this pause is really all about. And it's a huge time to do your inner work. Face those things. Don't be one of those that's, get me back out there and I gotta go, and I gotta be just distracted by everything of the world and not get to my roots of what really value and what brings me peace and love within me. So that's a beautiful, very beautiful, nurturing, feminine, fiery energy. And I love her breast exposed, you know, that vulnerability. The next one we got was from the native spirit. And this is the medicine woman, medicine man. This is the healer. This is the shaman within you. This is the one that says, I have everything within me. I can tap into that Neptunian energy and I can heal thy wounds. I can face those fears so that I can move forward, and taking those spiritual gifts out there, you know, looking forward with that staff, very sure of yourself and looking into the horizon there, you know. I think that's beautiful with this goddess energy because of the fiery passion. We have to face all of those things and allow those wounds, per se, to push us forward. And you utilize that through knowledge and sharing with others. I think that's huge and beautiful, because it can, once we find our passion, the sky's the limit. There is no limit. That is breaking free of that box, right, that we've put ourselves in, whether it be from political, the hierarchy of, you know, the suppression that many of us are feeling rise within us right now, and really moving forward, tapping into our shamanic abilities. And that's another thing with the Schumann, and since 2012, the shift there of more and more of these light frequencies coming in, and we're getting tapped back into who we truly are, and many people are breaking free of the boxes that whoever humanity decided to do it for control and fear, right? So we're going to do a couple more messages from the Mystical Shaman Oracle for this energy update. God, Creator, Source, Archangels, my guides, Yeshua, and my Son in Spirit, I ask that I be clear communication for encouraging messages for anybody who tunes in and listen, and I give thanks in advance, and so it is. Really keep tapping into your intuition. Trust that. So many people, I believe with the Gemini energy, you know, and information, we have to really merge within ourselves. Don't hold yourself back. Listen to that true knowingness. Our body is super intelligent. Creator God made us that way. It's a huge time for discernment. And we can be very vulnerable when we are sure of ourselves, like the staff here, right? I know once I got on my path and my higher self kept connecting and God kept giving me synchronicities and whatnot, I just stopped doubting myself. And the Mercury-ruled brain that I have, being ruled by, I'm a Virgo sun sign, you just have to quiet that mind sometimes and listen to your heart and listen into your spiritual guidance. I wanted to share this too as well. I'll say it next. I get distracted easily, right? The Witness. That's perfect. That's beautiful. Journey. One more, Spirit. Unity consciousness, it's where it's all at. The Witness, card 64. This is a time for you to witness everything. This is a time for you to witness your thoughts. This is time to witness what is going on around you. The Witness is very, very metaphoric, and the same to me as being the observer. This is being tapped into your spiritual aspect and witnessing the things that are going on within you, whether it be in your thoughts, a change in your beliefs, but this is also witnessing what is going on collectively and seeing through the illusions. Be the witness of it all, don't become it. I love that. The next card we got is the Journey, card 29. This to me is that inner journey that we take. Hands over the heart. The truth, the way will always stand. You gain great wisdom if you utilize this inner time. And again, you know, many people quote being forced into this inner time. What are you doing with that time? Are you getting in tune and in tap with yourself? It's a time to break free from not running from yourself. That's what this pause is all about. Taking that inner journey, getting in your heart space, being sure of yourself, and allowing this wisdom to be illuminated by your third eye, crown chakra. I think that's so metaphoric and so beautiful, considering what I shared prior to this about the third eye and seeing through the illusions, being the witness of the things that are going on within you. And I want to bring up again the thoughts because of this Gemini energy, and we're going into Gemini season. Plant your seed with the new moon on what your values, you know, may have changed. Plant a new seed, a dark moon. And I think it's a beautiful metaphor that You know, literally planting, like I started to say earlier, I digress. The new moon is the perfect time to literally plant seeds to start growing as well. And so metaphorically, I think that's a beautiful thing with the symbolism of the dark moon, of really allowing our new value system to be planted going forward, allowing the journey within right now in this pause and not biting at the bit so much to get out there. Take that journey within and face all those things. That's how we heal. That's how we create a better planet for our children. And I'm very, very much so an advocate for that. Not to be oppressed and suppressed by the control factor, to not be so out of balance that technology is being used for dark energy, in which I don't shame dark energy, but when it's used for control and fear, then it's not in the benefit of the whole. And that's where we're trying to head into. The last card we got was the Circle, number 8. This is infinity. This is at the center of, we've gotten this card recently as well. Remembering that we're all connected, doesn't matter what color, what belief. What we got to go to is the heart space and getting into that consciousness of that we are all connected. We are infinite. Keep being the witness of the shit show that's happening, whether it be within you or out there. The more we do that and the more we journey and use our knowledge and our wisdom through this heart space here, the better off you will be, people around you will be, and the future for our children. Something has to change, and I've been saying this all along during this pause. I hope it never goes back to the way it was. But when there's an energy being used out there to have human beings scared of each other and fearing being in contact with each other, please do start questioning that, because that is not the benefit of the whole. We got to get in our heart spaces. We got to grab onto that spiritual aspect of ourselves and go, no matter what I am witnessing, I will not be disconnected, and I will not put myself in a box. I'm going to go on this sacred journey. I'm going to use that shamanic energy to heal my wounds, to take that wisdom forward with knowledge, with a staff. I know who I am, right? Spine, straight up, truth the way, integrity. Take that journey, you won't regret it. That is our energy update. May 18th through 24th. Again, like I said, don't put this in a box. Hope this makes great sense to you. Plant your seeds with the new moon on Friday. Again, happy solar return to you, Gemini. You could be experiencing a lot of mind chatter no matter what sign you are. Center down. Merge that left brain, right brain. Get in tune with your psychic and intuitive abilities. Allow that third eye to be all-seeing and see through those illusions. Be the witness of it. Get in your heart space, heart chakra. Allow that to create this beautiful vulnerability. Exposing your vulnerability. Using that to spark a passion within you out there, of a unity consciousness and an infinity of not putting ourselves in the box of fear, not to be controlled by that anymore. Break free. I send this to you with so much love, and namaste.